Good evening, everyone. In the last session, we discussed about what is the file handling, how to write the data to the file, how to read the data from the file. For that, we are using IO streams. IO streams are used to perform input and output operations. Using IO streams, we can connect Java program to the file. We can read the data from the file as well as we can write the data to the file. In order to read and write the data, we have two types of streams. One is byte stream, second one is character stream. Byte stream is used to read and write binary data, whereas character stream is used to read and write character data. Now, in the byte stream, we have input stream related classes as well as output stream related classes also available. In the character stream, we have reader class as well as writer classes. Yesterday, we are able to create a file by using file writer and we are calling write method. This write method will write the data to the file. If the file is already available, it will open the existing file and it will write the data. If the file is not available, it will create the file and it will write the data. Similarly, we are using file reader. What is the purpose of file reader? File reader is used to read the data from the file. Based on the given name, it will identify the file in the location. If the file is available, stream will open and it will read the characters from the file. File reader will read the data character by character. If there are no characters available or if we reach the last character, it will return -1. What is the meaning of -1? There is no character to read. I'm reading a file data by using a loop. First I am reading one character. That means I'm reading first character. If first character not equal to -1, I'm printing that and I'm reading the next character, storing in the I variable. It will check first character, it will check second character, it will check all the characters. If we don't have any characters, condition will fail, loop will terminate. Whenever we open a reader, after our work is completed, we need to close that. Good. Next one, we are using buffered reader. Already we have file reader, then why we are going for buffered reader? File reader will read the data character by character, whereas buffered reader will read the data line by line. But buffered reader cannot connect with the file directly. So that's why we are using file reader to connect with the file. Then file reader, we are connecting to buffered reader. File reader, we are connecting to buffered reader. In the buffered reader, we have read line method. What is the purpose of read line method? What is the purpose of read line method? Read line method is used to read the data line by line. Here I have a Java program and here I have a file. My Java program want to connect with the file and want to read the data. So this is my program. This is my file. Okay. This Java program will use one stream called buffered reader. Okay, that buffered reader will connect with the file reader. File reader will connect with the actual file. So here we can call it as buffered reader. It is called as buffered reader. That buffered reader we are connecting with file reader. File reader is connecting with the file. How to connect buffer reader with the file reader? We are going to write file reader fr is equal to new file reader of data.txt. File reader will connect with the file. That file reader is connecting with the buffered reader. Using buffered reader, we are calling read line method to read the first line data. While line not equal to null, if the file is empty or if there are no lines available in the file, it will return null value. While line not equal to null, print the line data, then read the next line. br dot read line, reading next line data and reinitializing line variable so that we can check the condition. File reader will read the data character by character, whereas buffer reader will read the data line by line. I have given 3 programs. How many of you completed that? All three? All three completed? Good. No? Why? Why, man? What is the problem? What is the problem? Yeah, fine. Next one. Guys, there is another class in the IO streams, which is called print writer. There is another class called print writer. Print writer is a multi-purpose class. Using this print writer, so many times we are using system.out.println. Okay, so many times we are using system.out.println. What is the purpose of system.out.println? It is used to print the data on the console. Okay, so many people asked me, sir, can you tell me what is this system? What is this out? What is this println? Now we will understand that. System, it is a class. It is a class available in java.lang package. System is a predefined class available in java.lang package. Then out, it is a static variable. It is a static variable available in system class. The data type is print writer. The data type of variable needs a data type, right? The data type of out variable is print writer class. Data type of out variable is print writer class. Println, it is a method. It is a method available in print writer class. It is a method available in print writer class. System.out.println. System is a class which is available in java.lang package. Inside the system class, there is a static variable called out. That variable belongs to which class? Print writer. The out is a static variable which belongs to print writer. Inside the print writer, we have print method, we have println method also. We have print method, we have println method also, that is used to print the data to the console. So are you able to understand what is this now? System.out.println. Println is a method belongs to system class or belongs to print writer class. Come on, guys. Println method is belongs to print writer class, not a system class. System dot out dot println. Println is the method which belongs to print writer class. Okay, good. Now let us see. I'm creating one Java program, new class demo. Right. Let me give the package name in.ashok IT. Yes, public class demo. I have one class. Inside this class, let's take a main method. Let's take a main method. Now, let me create the class print writer. Print writer pw is equal to new. Excuse me. Print writer pw is equal to new print writer. Am I able to create the object for the print writer, or I'm not able to create the object for the print writer? I'm not able to create the object. Can we go and check why we are not able to create? Can we check the API? Yes, JSE API, java. java.io. Let's go for a package called java.io package. In java.io package, we need to check a class called print writer. What is the class? Print writer. Yes, print writer. Now, prints a formatted representation of objects to a text output stream. Now, what is this? Out. Out is a variable belongs to writer class. Constructor, print writer. Print writer can take the file as a parameter. Print writer can take the output stream. Print writer can take the string as a parameter. It can take writer as a parameter. Is there any zero param constructor available in the print writer? No, there is no zero param constructor in the print writer. That's why we are getting problem here. There is no zero param constructor for the print writer. That's why we are facing a problem. Here, can I give system.out writer object, output stream? Print writer PW is equal to new print writer of system.out. Now, PW dot print method, PW dot print method hi. After writing this print, PW dot flush method, PW dot close method. What I am trying to do now? I am printing hi. Okay, where I am printing system dot out. Run this program. Can you see hi printing on the console? In the interview, they may ask you, can you print data on the console without using system.out.println? Can we print data on the console without using system.out.println? Yes. How can we print it? By using print writer. System.out.println also internally using print writer class only. Print writer PW is equal to new print writer system.out PW dot print of hi. If I don't call the flush method, if I don't call the flush method and if I execute, is it printing anything? No. What is the purpose of a flush method? Send the data forcefully. Flush. Send the data forcefully. Click on this run button. Now we are able to get the hi. Similarly, can I write pw.println? Can I write pw.println? What is the difference between print and println? Cursor will go to the next line. See, hi is printed, hello is also printed. By using print writer, can we write the data to the file also? Can we write the data to the file also? Yes. By using print writer, we can write the data to file also. We can write the data to file also. Let us create the object. Print writer PW is equal to new print writer. I'm giving f1.txt. f1.txt. pw.write method is available. Directly write method is available. This is my f1 file data. This is my f1 file data. Now we are getting an exception. What exception? We are getting an exception, file not found exception. It is a checked exception or unchecked exception? Checked exception. How to resolve that checked exception? By using which keyword? Throws of exception. By using throws of exception, I'm giving that. Okay. Next up, pw.flush. Forcefully send the data to the file. After that, close the file, that writer object. Print writer PW is equal to new print writer. I'm giving file name. Then pw.write, pw.flush, pw.close. Now refresh this project. Let me close unrelated projects. When I refresh, in this project, is there any file available with a name called f1.txt? In this project called file handling, is there any file available, guys? No. Let's run this project, run as Java application. project terminated, refresh. Can you see file is created with the data? f1.txt is created with the data. So we can use print writer also to write the data to the file. File writer you can use, print writer also you can use. What is the difference? File writer will write character by character. Print writer sending everything at a time. Writing data to file using print writer class. If anybody asks you what is system.out.println, system is a class which is having a static variable called out. Out variable belongs to print writer. Inside the print writer we are having println. Println is used to print the data to the console. All right. So we can write the data by using print writer directly to the console. This is a program writing the data to the console using print writer. Writing data to console using print writer object. Writing data to console using print writer object. Writing data to file using print writer object. Using print writer object. So to write the data, either you can go for file writer or you can go for print writer also. Do we have print reader? Do we have a class called print reader? No, there is no class called print reader. We have only print writer. Good. So with this, we understood what is a file class. Okay. And we discussed about what is file class methods. We understood what is a file and we understood file class methods and we understood what is file writer. What is file writer? And we understood file reader and we understood buffered reader. What is buffered reader? And we understood what is print writer. Okay, file, it is used to represent a Java file. File is having several methods: create file, create a directory, list the file, delete the file, is it a file or not, is it a directory or not. Like that, there are several methods available. File writer class is available. It is used to write the data to the file. File writer is used to write the data to the file character by character. File reader read the data from the file character by character. What is a buffered reader? It is also used to read the data from the file line by line. Similarly, data to the file and we can write the data to the console also. Good. Next one, another concept here, which is serialization and deserialization. When we are talking about IO package, the most important question, serialization and deserialization. What is a serialization and what is deserialization? The process of storing object data to the file is called serialization. I have my Java object. Okay guys, here I have my Java object. Let us take, this is user object. User object. This user object having data ID is equal to 101, name is equal to some ROM, age is equal to some 30. Like this, I have one Java object. This Java object I want to store in a file. Java object I want to store in a file. The process of storing Java object to the file is called as serialization. Whatever the object data I have, when I create the object, I can store some data. That data will be available lifelong or data will not be available lifelong in the object? Will not available. If my program is terminated, my JVM will shut down. I will lose the data. I am creating one object. In that object, I'm storing some data. user object, user ID, username, user age. That is some data. That data I'm storing in the object. How many days that object will be available? When my program is running, then object will be available. If my program is terminated, JVM will shut down. When the JVM is shut down, heap will be cleared, object will be deleted, we will lose the data. Whatever the data is available in the object, I want to store the data permanently. I want to store the data long time. I want to store the data permanently. To store the data permanently, we are going to use a concept called serialization. What is the concept, guys? Serialization. Can you tell me what is serialization? The process of storing object data into a file. The process of storing object data to a file for permanent storage. It is called as serialization. Object data will be stored into file. Object data will be stored into file. The process of storing object data to the file is called serialization. After data is stored, after few days, I want my data back. Today, I created a object. In that object, there is some data. I want the data permanently to store in some file. When I create an object will be stored in the JVM. If my program is terminated, object will be deleted. I will lose my data. I don't want to lose the data. Whatever the data is available in the object, I want to store it for 10 years. I want to use it tomorrow, or I want to use after 1 week, or I want to use after 10 days, after 1 year. So if you want to use your object data after some days, then you need to store the data permanently. For that, I will store my object data in the file. The process of storing object data to the file is called as serialization. Is called serialization. Now, once I do the serialization, my object data will be available in the file. Now, after few days, I want my data back in the form of object. I want to read the data from the file. I want to represent in the form of object. That is called deserialization. Serialization is available. Deserialization is available. The reverse of the serialization is called deserialization. The reverse of serialization is called deserialization. Storing Java object, converting Java object into file is called as serialization. What is the deserialization? Converting file data back to Java object is called as deserialization. Okay, the process of converting Java object into file is called serialization. Converting file data back to Java object is called as deserialization. If we want to perform serialization or deserialization, JVM should provide special behavior for the class. For that, there is a marker interface, serializable. To perform serialization or deserialization. To perform serialization or deserialization, the Java class should implement java.io.serializable marker interface. If you want to perform serialization or deserialization, that Java object, whichever the object you want to store in the file, that object class should implement serializable interface. Serializable is a marker interface. What is a marker interface?
What is a marker interface? The interface without any method. The interface without any method is called as a marker interface. When there is no method, why to implement that? When there is no method, why to implement that? When you implement that interface, JVM will provide special behavior. JVM will provide special behavior. What is that special behavior? Converting the object to the file, converting file back to object. That is called special behavior. If your class wants that special behavior, your class should implement serializable interface. In which package that interface is available? Java.io. Now there is a other definition also. The process of converting Java object into bits and bytes is called serialization. How that data will be stored in the file? In the form of bits and bytes. So the process of converting Java object into bits and bytes is called as serialization. Converting bits and bytes data back to Java object is called as deserialization. Are you guys clear with my point? Yes. Can you tell me what is the serialization? The process of converting Java object into file is called serialization. What is the deserialization? Converting Java file data back to Java object is called deserialization. When we store data in the object, when we store data in the object, that data will be available if our program is running. I'm going to create one object. In that object, I will store the data. How much time I can access that data? Till my program execution. If our program is terminated, if our program got terminated, then we will lose our objects and data available in the objects. Are you clear with my point? What is the object? Physical entity. Why we are creating objects? Allocate the memory, store the data. Objects are used to store the data. I will create one object. I will store one employee data. How much time that data will be available? Till your program is executing. My program is keep on executing, data will be available. If my program is terminated, data loss. If my program is terminated, data loss. Now, I don't want to lose the data. I want to store the data permanently. If we don't want to lose the data, even after program got terminated, then we should go for serialization. Are you clear with my point? Read that statement. When we store data in the object, that data will be available if our program is running. If our program got terminated, then we will lose our objects and data available in the objects. Right. I don't want to lose the data even after program got terminated. I want to access my data even after my program is terminated. Then we need to go for serialization. What is a serialization? What is serialization? The process of converting Java object into file. The process of converting Java object into file data in the form of bits and bytes. The process of converting Java object into file data in the form of bits and bytes is called as serialization. Serialization. Then what is the deserialization? What is the deserialization? The process of converting file data back to Java object is called as deserialization. Serialization means converting Java object data into bits and bytes in the file. That is called serialization. I want to get my data back. So, okay, yesterday I stored the data in the file. Object data stored in the file. I want that data back. What I need to do? I need to do deserialization. Now, can I perform serialization, deserialization on any object? Listen my question. I have a student class. Can I serialize the student object, deserialize the student object? If that class is implementing serializable interface, can I perform serialization, deserialization on any Java class object? No. If that Java class is implementing serializable interface, then only we can perform serialization and deserialization. Are you able to follow me? Yes. To perform serialization and deserialization, to perform serialization and deserialization, we have to implement java.io.serializable interface. To perform serialization and deserialization, we need to implement serializable interface, which is marker interface. Which is marker interface. Do you know what is a marker interface? What is a marker interface? Why are you writing, man? Why are you writing the notes? You don't have portal access, huh? Then what is the use? Do you have any plan to gift to your kid? This is my Java notebook. Do you want to gift to your girlfriend? This is my Java book. I have written with my handwriting. Any plans available like that? Then what is the use of writing? Why are you wasting your energy? Close it. Listen. After every class, I'm uploading these notes now. Then what is the use? No use. You can open that in the mobile also. You can read the notes at any point of time. You can't carry your book anywhere, right? Close that book. Concentrate. Just listen. Okay. So we are trying to understand what is the serialization and deserialization. First of all, why we need to go for serialization? We are working with Java. Java is a object oriented programming language. Everything will be represented in the form of object. If I store the data in the object, that object will be available till my program execution got completed. If my program execution got completed, object will be deleted. I will lose the data. But my requirement is I have some data in the object. I want to access the data tomorrow. I want to run my program. My program will create the object. It will represent the data. I want that data tomorrow. My program will stop immediately. Even after my program stopped, I want to access that data. Then store the data permanently to a file. So if your program is stopped also, your data will be available in the file. So the process of converting Java object into a file is called as serialization. The reverse operation, get the data from the file and convert into object. That is called deserialization. Can we perform serialization and deserialization on any Java object? No. Some conditions are followed. What is that rule? If that class is implementing java.io.serializable interface, then only that class object is eligible for serialization and deserialization. Able to follow me? Right. What is that serializable interface? Serializable, what is the interface? What is the interface? Which contains abstract methods. Interface nothing but which contains abstract methods. What about serializable? It is an interface, special interface. What is the speciality? Marker interface. What is a marker interface? No methods. When there are no methods, why to implement? JVM will provide extra facility. JVM will provide extra functionality for the class which is implementing marker interface. If your class is implementing a clonable, then you can create the copy of your object. If your class is implementing clonable, then you can create the duplicate object by using clone method. If your class is implementing serializable, that object data can be stored into a file data can be converted into object. So in the Java, marker interfaces are available, no methods, but we have to implement. Then JVM will give special treatment. If your class object you want to store into a file, you need to implement a serializable. Then only that object can be stored into file. Are you clear? Right. Now let us go for a program which is used to perform serialization. Which is used to perform serialization. Okay. Now I'm going to take a class with a name called person. I'm taking a class with a name called person. Now here first let me take a main method, person main method. Here there are some variables, integer ID, string name. I'm taking two variables. Can I create the can I take a constructor? Can I take a constructor? Yes, constructors also I can take, right? Fine. Now here I will take object person P is equal to new person. Person P is equal to new person. Can I set some data? P dot ID. P dot ID is equal to 100. P dot name is equal to some value. P dot ID, P dot name. My object is having some data. My object is having some data. Now I want to store this data to the file. Okay. For that, I'm going to take file output stream. I need to send bytes data. File data will be in the form of a byte. Object data will be in the form of a byte. I want to send the byte data, binary data from Java program to file. Character data or binary data? Object. Object is a character data or object is a binary data? Binary data. For that I am going for file output stream. File output stream FOS is equal to new file output stream. You can give file name person dot ser. Basically we will give dot ser as the extension. That means it is a serialized file. It is a serialized file. You can give .txt also, no problem. But recommended to give .ser. What is the meaning of ser? It is the file. It is a special file which contain object data. This is a serialized file. This is a serialized file. Now it is giving some exception. File not found. Checked exception. How to deal with that? Throws exception. Throws exception. Now file output stream I have. Now let me go for object output stream. Object output stream OOS is equal to new object output stream of FOS. File output stream I am creating, which is connected to the file. That file I am connected to object output stream. Now here object output stream dot write. Object output stream dot write. Let us see, there is a method write object pass the person. What is the meaning of that? Write the object to the file. Now here what we are doing is, this is my file which is .ser. What is the name I am giving? Any name. Person.ser. To write the binary data to this file, I'm using one class called file output stream. Which class is connected to the file now? Which class is connecting to the file? File output stream class is connected to the file. This file output stream is connected to which class? Object output stream. Object output stream is available. Object output stream is there. Okay. Object output stream is connected to file output stream. Now here my Java program is available. That Java program is connected to object output stream. So this is Java object. Java object. Which method I am calling now? There is a method called write object of person. Write object of person. Okay. Java object I have. I created a object. In that object I am storing some data. Person P is equal to new person. P dot ID. P dot name. I created person object. Then I'm creating file output stream. File output stream is connected to a file. What is the name of the file? Person.ser. That file output stream is connected to whom? Object output stream. Object output stream is having a method to write the object to the file using file output stream. Okay. Object output stream is connected to file output stream. File output stream is connected to file. Now object output stream is having write object method. After doing this, OOS dot flush. What is the meaning of a flush? Save the data. Now I am calling OOS dot close. OOS dot close. So with this, what operation will happen? With this, what operation will happen? Serialization. Let me execute this program. Let me write this system.out.println serialization completed. Serialization completed. Serialization start and serialization completed. Serialization started and serialization completed. I'm creating file. I'm creating a person object. I'm storing the data. File output stream object I created. Object output stream I created. Write object method I'm calling. Run this program. It is failed. It is failed. I'm trying to serialize the person object. Serialization is successful or serialization is failure? Serialization failure. Can you read the exception? Java.io not serializable exception. That means our Java, our JVM is not able to serialize the object. JVM is not able to serialize the object. Why it is not able to serialize the object? Why it is not able to serialize the object? This is not implementing that marker interface. Okay. Do you know how to implement it? Yes. Implements serializable. Implements serializable. Now let's run this. Are we able to serialize this properly now? Serialization started, serialization completed. Refresh your project. Can you see person.ser created? This is a file. Open this file. Can you read anything? No. Why? Is it storing character data or binary data? Bytes. The object is converted into bytes and that bytes data is stored into file. So that's why we have two definitions for the serialization. The process of converting Java object into file is called serialization. The process of converting Java object into bits and bytes and store into a file, that is also called as serialization. Are you clear? Yes. Even if it is a txt also, it will store in the same format. Let me give that. Instead of giving .ser, can I give you a different name now? Yes, I will give the name as a person.txt. Run the program, right click, run as Java application. Refresh, person.txt is created. So when I open person.ser or person.txt, it is storing the data in the character format It is storing the data in the bytes format. It is storing the data in the bytes format. My program is terminated. My JVM stopped. Am I losing the data? No. Why? The data is already stored to the file. Can I get the data back after 1 year also? Yes, I can get my data back after 1 year also. So that is called serialization. Can you tell me what is a serialization? What is a serialization? The process of converting Java object into bits and bytes is called serialization. Which class we are using to perform serialization? Object output stream. Object output stream is having a method called write object. How this object output stream connecting to the file? By using file output stream. What extension I am taking for the file? SER. Is it mandatory to take the SER? No, I can take the TXT also. In which format my data is stored? Is it storing in the text format or it is storing in the text format or in the bytes format? The data is storing in the form of bytes. So with this we are able to perform serialization. Can we perform deserialization? Can I perform deserialization? What is the meaning of deserialization? Converting data back to Java object. My file is having the data. I want to convert the data back to Java object. Now let us see. Here I'm going to specify system.out.println deserialization started. Deserialization started. Okay. Now I'm giving deserialization ended. Serialization started, deserialization ended. First I need to locate where is the file. To locate the file, we are using one class called file input stream. FIS is equal to new file input stream. What is the file name? person.ser. What is the file name? person.ser. Now I want to read the object. Earlier I was using object output stream to write the object. Now I want to write or I want to read? I want to read. So output stream or input stream? Input stream. Object input stream OIS is equal to new object input stream. New object input stream of FIS. FIS. Now OIS dot read object. OIS dot read object. Read object is giving superclass object. Can we convert that superclass object to subclass? Typecasting. Superclass data to subclass. Widening or narrowing? Higher data type to lower data type. Superclass object to subclass object. Narrowing. Can I do like this? Person P1 is equal to person of object? Yes or no? Now system.out.println P1.id, system.out.println P1.name. Got it? What I am doing here? I am creating file input stream object. What is the purpose of a file input stream? Which is used to load the file. File input stream is used to load the file. Then what is the next class? Object input stream. What is the purpose of object input stream? Which is used to read the data from the file. How the data is available? Bits and bytes. So I want to read the data. To read the data from the file, what is the method available? Read object. Read the data from the file, convert into object. Which class object it is giving? Superclass object. Can I convert the superclass object to subclass? Yes. Why it is giving superclass object? Because this method don't know whether you stored person object or user object or employee object. It don't know. That's why it is giving a parent class object. Using that parent class object, you typecast to subclass object. That is called narrowing. What is the typecasting? Converting the data from one data type to another data type is called as typecasting. Typecasting is divided into how many types? Two types: widening, narrowing. What is the difference between widening and narrowing? Converting from lower data type to higher data type is called widening. What is narrowing? Converting from higher type to lower type is called as narrowing. All right, fine. Here, after converting the data to the person object, I'm accessing p1.id, p1.name. We should get the data back. Whatever the data we are storing in the file, we should be able to get the data back. Are you guys clear? We should be able to get the data back. Now, let's run this program. Are we able to get the data back? Yes. So my data is storing in the JVM, or my data is storing in the file? My data is storing in the file. The process, why I need to store the data in the file? For long-term purpose, for future purpose. If I store in the JVM, if my JVM is stopped, my object will be deleted. Today, I'm storing the data in the object. I want the data after 1 week. I want my data after 1 week. So don't just store in the JVM. Along with the JVM, store in the file also. So how can we store Java object into a file? By using serialization. What is the serialization? Process of converting Java object into a file is called serialization. Now what is the deserialization? The process of converting data back. The process of converting data back. Instead of a file output stream, here what we are using? Instead of file output stream, here what we are using to read the data? We are using file input stream. We are using file input stream. So here data is available. Data is available. How to read the data from the file input stream? By using object input stream. So here in the serialization, data will travel like this. Okay, data will go from object output stream, then it will go to file output stream. It will store data. Okay, here data is already available. From here it will read the data to the Java program. Direction is changed. Direction is changed. This process is called serialization. This process is called deserialization. Serialization and deserialization. Able to follow this? Look at the diagram. Object output stream, object input stream. In the object output stream, we have write object method. In the object input stream, we have read object method. Read object method. Write object, read object. All now file will be available permanently. That file is creating in your system now. So that file is a permanent file only, not temporary. Yes, we can store that. We can do that. Huh? In this program, yeah. You need to see the class. A class में क्या क्या data है at the time of serialization, whatever the data you have, only that data you will get back. And there is a loophole. There is a loophole, I will tell you. Yes, you can do that. You can print that. You can do that. If you have toString method, directly you can print the P. Guys, just basic. Are you able to understand how to serialize the object and how to deserialize the object? Yes. After deserialization is completed, OIS dot close. Why we need to close this? Remove the link between the file and the Java program. In the interview, I will show you one problem in this program. I will show you one problem in this program. Currently, serialization, deserialization, I'm doing in the same, simple. In the real time, we don't use this. Why? We will go for a database. Then what is the use of this concept? Just there is in syllabus is there, we have to learn. That's it. Right? In the real time, do you think that data will be stored in the files? No. Why? Not secured. It is not secured. We are going to store the data in the database. Sir, then why we are discussing? Syllabus. Right. Serialization, no need to give that much importance because we don't use in the real time. We don't use in the real time. Fine. Guys, here there is a interview question. There is a interview question. That is, what is serial version UID? Serial version UID. When we are performing the serialization, there is a biggest loophole. Biggest loophole is there. What is that loophole? Currently, I am developing a program. In the main method, I have the logic to perform the serialization. I have the logic to perform the deserialization also. If you run this program, you will not get any problem because it is doing the serialization. Immediately it is doing the deserialization also. There is no problem. But let me take the command prompt and let me show the problem. Let me create one class with a name called person.java. I'm taking a class with a name called person.java. In this person class, I'm taking variables like this. Okay, this is fine. Person.java. Now, let me go for another Java class, text document, serialize, serial demo.java. I'm taking serial demo.java. In this program, I will write the logic to perform serialization. Only serialization logic will be available in this class. Public class serial demo. Public class serial demo. I have taken a main method, created the person object, serialization started, serialization completed. Person.ser. File, save, close. Done. Forget about IDE. In this, here, if you see person.java available, serial demo.java available. Person is a class which is having some data. Demo class is having a logic to serialize the person object. It contains the logic to serialize the person object. Is there any change in the logic? No. Just I have divided into two programs. Person object I am creating. I am setting the data to the object. I am doing the serialization. File output stream is equal to new file output stream. Object output stream is equal to new object output stream. Write object method, flush method, close method. Serialization completed. File, exit. Okay. Go to CMD. We'll write. Go to CMD. Java C space serial demo.java. Cannot find the symbol. Reach of the end of the file. Okay. Go to this file. Go to this file. Only main method bracket is closed. This method is not. This is not closed. Packages are required. Import java.io.star. Good. Here exception is there. Exit. Now Java C space serial demo.java. Okay, still it is saying that person class is implementing serializable. There also we need to import the package. Import java.io.star. Okay, file exit. Now clear Java C demo.java. Java C serial demo.java compiled successfully. Can you see two classes compiled? Because serial demo is creating object for the person. Person.class file is created. Serial demo.class file is also created. Now Java space serial demo. Java space serial demo. Can you see that serialization completed? Serialization completed or not completed? Which object we have serialized? Person object. Do we have some data in the object? Yes, there is some data. What data I have serialized? ID and name. I have serialized ID and name. Now serialization completed. Person object data stored to file. Now can I do deserialization also? Can I do deserialization also? Yes, deserial demo dot java. Deserial demo dot java. All right. Let me create a class, public class, deserial demo. Then go for main method, import the package. Import java.io.star. Import java.io.star. Semicolon. Now we need a main method. We need a main method. Inside this main method, we are going to perform just deserialization. Remove this. What is the logic available? File input stream, object input stream, read object. When I call the read object, it is giving me person object. I'm getting the data back from the person object. Deserialization, file, save, exit. Now go here, Java C space deserial demo.java, Java space deserial demo. Deserialization started, deserialization ended successfully. Are you clear with this? Any problem? Is there any problem? No. You got the concept of serialization, deserialization? What is serialization? Storing the Java object into a file is called serialization. What is deserialization? Converting file data back to the Java object is called as deserialization. Now let us see what is the problem. First, let me do the serialization. Java space serial demo. Serialization started, serialization completed. Now in the person.java, I will make one small change. I will make small change in the person.java. Some extra space I have added, or I have declared one more variable into age, something like this. After doing the serialization of the person object, I modified the person class. I modified the person class. Now I'm trying to deserialize. Java space deserial. Java space, sorry, let me do the Java C space deserialization demo.java, Java space deserial demo. What happened? Invalid class exception, incompatible serial version UID. Serial version UID is this, local class serial version UID is this. What is the meaning of that? See here. Here I have person.class. Here I have person.class. For every .class file, JVM will assign one ID. For every .class file, JVM is assigning one ID. So this ID is 100. UID, that is called serial version UID. Serial version UID. We have a person.class. Whenever you compile a Java program, JVM will assign one unique ID for every dot class file. That is some random number. You see what is the serial version UID it has given. This is the serial version, one long value. One random long value it will assign as a serial version UID. Now this person object I store it to file. This person object I have stored to file. Serialization. Whenever you store the person object to the file, it will assign that same serial version UID for the file also. UID is equal to 100. Whatever the ID is available for the dot class file, same ID it is storing in the file also. That is called serial version UID. Now, whenever you are trying to deserialize the file, when you are trying to deserialize the file, what is the UID in the file? What is the UID in the dot class? It will compare. If UIDs are matching, then only deserialization will happen. Are you getting my point? First, we are doing serialization. First of all, we have a dot class file. Whenever you compile a Java program, one dot class file is created. For the dot class file, one ID is assigned by the JVM. Are we assigning or JVM is assigning? JVM is assigning. That is a random number, long value. Serial version UID. For every dot class file, serial version UID will be available. Now, I am doing serialization. Whatever the object I have, object to data, I am storing into file. Object data I am storing into file. So this is serialize. Okay. This data stored. Only it is storing the data or it is storing the UID also. It is storing the UID. Simple example. You joined for full stack. You paid money for the full stack. How can we understand you are belongs to our institute? You have a ID card or not? Whenever you are entering in the class, what Sai is doing, what our boy is doing, checking the ID card. Why? This ID card is given by us or not? If it is our ID card, then come inside. Otherwise, wait. If your ID card is valid, if your ID card is the same which we have given, if you bring other institute ID card, are we going to allow? No. Whatever the ID card we have given, if you bring the same ID card, then only we will allow you. Same process JVM also going to do. Whenever you compile the Java program, dot class file will be created. For every dot class file, one ID will be generated. That ID is called UID, serial version UID. Whenever you serialize your object, whatever the ID is available for the dot class, same ID it will store in the file also. Fine. Dot class file is having the ID. Serialized file also having the ID. Sir, why it is storing the ID in the file? To verify whenever you are trying to deserialize. Whenever you are trying to deserialize, JVM will check this file data is belongs to our object or not. This file data belongs to our object or not. JVM will compare whatever the ID available in the file, whatever the ID available in the dot class, it will compare when you perform deserialize. When you perform deserialize. Are you getting my point? Yes. What is the serial version UID? What is the serial version UID? For every dot class file, one ID will be generated by the JVM. That is called serial version UID, version ID. That is basically called as a version ID. Whenever you compile the Java program, that version ID will be generated. Whenever you do serialization, whatever the version ID is available for the dot class, same version ID will be stored to the file. Why it is storing the version ID to the file? In future, when you do deserialize, whatever the ID available in the file, whatever the ID available in the dot class, matching or not. If both are matching, then only deserialize. Yes, this file is belongs to this class only. This file is belongs to this class only, then only deserialize. If ID is not matching with the class ID, file ID not matching with the class ID, then what will happen? Invalid serial exception, invalid class exception, boss. Whatever the object you stored, whatever the class you are trying to use, both are not same, invalid class. This is not the class. This is not my ID. This is not our ID card. Please don't come. This is not our ID card. Please don't come. Like this, it is going to compare serial version UID when you try to deserialize. The problem is, after doing the serialization, I have modified the person.java program. I have recompiled the person.java. Initially, person class having ID as 100. With 100, I have done the serialization. File is having what ID? 100. After that, I have recompiled the program. When I recompiled the program, what happened? It has given ID as a 200. Random number. ID I got as a 200. File is having what ID? 100. Class is having what ID? 200. Matching or not matching? Not matching. That's why deserialization failed. Understand my point? What is the serial version UID? For every .class file, JVM will maintain one ID. That ID is called serial version UID. Whenever you serialize your object, that serial version UID will be stored in the file. Whenever you deserialize the object, your file UID, your class UID will be compared. If both are matching, then only deserialization will happen. But in this scenario, my program is failed to deserialize. Why it is failed to deserialize? At the time of serialization, this UID is available in the .class. At the time of deserialization, this serial version UID available in the .class. Both are not matching. It is an invalid class. I cannot deserialize. When I compile this, see here, I compiled this program. This is using person class, na? Person class also will be recompiled. Got it? Number will change. If you just give the space also, number will change. Understand? Sir, then how to avoid this problem? How to avoid this problem? No. Instead of taking the default serial version UID, we need to assign our serial version UID. That will not change. Currently, whenever the person class is modified, ID is going to change. I don't want to change the ID. Even if the program is changed also, I want to use same ID. Okay, see how I am getting the ID. Whenever you implement a serializable interface, click on this warning. When you click on this warning, it is asking add default serial version ID, add generated serial version ID. I'm giving serial version ID. This is the serial. Instead of this, you can give like this also. It is just a long number. Now I'm giving as icon 100L. What is the advantage if I give like this? Well, even my program, even my .class file is changed. Well, ID will not change, na? ID will not change. JVM is going to check ID or it is checking the .class ID. So if you don't write the serial version UID, then JVM will generate the default ID. That default ID will change when your program is changed. Okay. So whenever you are performing the serialization, it is recommended to write your own ID. If you don't write your own ID, by mistake, if your program is recompiled, then you are gone. Your data cannot come back. Your data cannot come back. So that's why whenever we are implementing serializable interface, we are going to assign custom serial version UID. If I don't give custom serial version UID, what is the problem? If I don't give custom serial version UID, what is the problem? Come on. Random serial version UID will change. That is very danger. Why it is a danger? If our program is changed, ID will change. At the time of serialization, one ID, right? Then in the file, that ID available. After serialization, my program is recompiled. If my program is recompiled, again ID is changed. File is having one ID, my program is having another ID, deserialization will fail. So how to resolve that problem? Assign your own ID. If you use your own ID, what is the advantage? Always ID will change. Even if your program is changed, ID will be same. Then deserialization will happen. Okay. This is in the interview they will ask you, but are we going to use in the real time? Yeah, just for time pass. Java program on serialization and deserialization. Java program on serialization and deserialization. Okay. Yes. So what is serial version UID? What is serial version UID? This is one interview question, guys. For every dot class file, JVM will assign one random number that is called as serial version UID. When we serialize the object, JVM will assign dot class file serial version UID to the serialized file. When we deserialize, JVM will compare serialized file ID, serialized file UID and dot class file UID. If both IDs are matching, then only deserialization will happen. Otherwise it will throw invalid class exception. To overcome this problem, we can write our own serial version UID. Then JVM will not assign that. If I write my own ID, even if I change the program also, no problem. So at the time of execution or at the time of serialization, at the time of deserialization, same UID will be available. So deserialization can become successful. Perfect. Good. With this, we are done with our file handling concept. What is a file? How to create a file? How to write the data? How to read the data? What is file reader, file writer, buffer reader, print writer? What is serialization? What is deserialization? And there is one small concept that is called transient. There is a concept called transient. Transient is a keyword. Now, here guys, person object is available, person class is available, ID, name, and some secret data, string, email, and string password. ID, name, email, password is available. P dot email is equal to some raju@gmail.com. P dot password is equal to raj@123. Now system.out.println email p1.email system.out.println password p1.password. Okay. Now if you see, I'm able to serialize and I'm able to deserialize everything. I'm able to serialize all the values in the object. I'm able to deserialize all the values in the object. But Password is a sensitive data, secret data I don't want to store. So I want to serialize the object, but I don't want to serialize this variable. Then this variable we can use as a transient. This variable we can use as a transient. Transient variables will not participate in the serialization process. I want to serialize the person object, all the variables, but password I don't want to store in the file. It is a secret data, sensitive data. If I store this password in the file, somebody can see that. I don't want to store only password. Then run this program. What happened? Password is coming as a null value when I deserialize. Why password is coming as a null value when I deserialize? Password is not stored to the file. Password variable not participated in the serialization. Why password not participated in the serialization? Because password is a transient variable. What is the meaning of transient? Transient is keyword. Transient keyword. Transient keyword is used to ignore variables from serialization process. Transient keyword is used to ignore variables from serialization process. For if we have any sensitive data, sensitive or secret data, then we should not then we should not serialize those fields. We should not serialize those fields. Using transient keyword, we can ignore them. How can we ignore them? Like this. Okay. Now, when you serialize the person object, ID will serialize, name will serialize, email also will serialize. What about the password? Password will not serialize. See the demo? I'm storing ID, name, email, password. I'm doing the complete serialization. I'm doing the serialization for the object and I'm trying to deserialize. I'm getting all the values, but password I'm getting as a null value. Why I am getting password as a null value? Password is not serialized. That's why we are getting a null value. Every variable is serialized. Why password is not serialized? Password is a transient variable. Transient is a keyword. What is the purpose of transient keyword? What is the purpose of transient keyword? Transient keyword is used to ignore variables from serialization process. If we have any sensitive data or secret data, then we should not serialize those fields. Using transient keyword, we can achieve that. Using transient keyword, we can achieve that. In the above program, when we serialize the person object, if we serialize the above person object, above person class object, ID, name and email will be serialized and password will not serialize, will not get serialized because it is transient variable. Transient means skip that variable from the serialization. So when we need to use a transient, if you have some variables which are holding secret data or sensitive data, that variables should not be serialized, then we can go for transient. Can I do transient for two variables also? Yes, any number of variables. PIN, password, credit card number, secret number, any number of variables you can make as a transient. When you make your variables as a transient, what is happening? That variable will not participate in the serialization process. Remaining variables will participate in the serialization process. That's it. Secret data I don't want to store. That's it. Yeah, that's fine. If you have your object, that data, if you don't set the data, that is fine. If you don't set the data, that is fine.
I did not get you. If somebody can deserialize, can see your data, right? Right. That transient, that is one field available. So first of all, this topic is useless topic. Got it? Huh. And another thing, can I do serialization for static variables? Okay. What is this, man? Static variable. Now name I am giving as a static variable. Now run this. Name is there, Raju. Write p dot name. Basically, these static variables we don't use in the serialization because static variables are related to the classes and instance variables are related to the object, right? No, variable, that is a keyword we can declare at the variable level, right? Yeah. Okay, fine. So with this, we understood file handling in the Java, and we understood what is the serialization, what is the deserialization, and we understood what is serial version UID, and we understood transient. What is the purpose of transient? What is the purpose of transient, guys? If you want to ignore any variable from serialization process, then we can go for transient. Good. Fine. With this, we completed our file handling. Next topic, multi-threading. So tomorrow we will start with multi-threading. After multi-threading, collections. The important topic, that is collection. Even multi-threading, to be frank, if I explain now, you don't understand the real purpose of the multi-threading. Concept wise, we are going to discuss where to use multi-threading, how to use multi-threading. You will understand in the advanced Java topics. So now just fundamental, the basic of multi-threading we are going to learn concept wise, but where to use it, how to use it. Once you start the project development, then you will realize the importance of the multi-threading. But concept wise, we are going to understand, and few examples also we are going to develop. In the Spring Boot, microservices, at that time you will understand real benefit of multi-threading, how to use that multi-threading. Fine. Thank you, guys. I'm stopping for today. We'll continue in the tomorrow class. Yeah. I will